Hello Americans channel. This video is made by free videos from Storyblocks, and these images and video we use just for explanation, and it's free use also.
It was a day like any other, high above the endless waves of golden desert sand. The hum of the plane's engine was steady, a soothing soundtrack to the vast and desolate landscape below. But then, like a mirage breaking the monotony, a strange shape caught the pilot's eye. "What on earth is that?" she muttered, leaning closer to the cockpit window. Sitting in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but endless dunes, was what looked like a crumbling building, a peculiar sight for sure, but what made it truly unsettling was how it seemed to have been left there deliberately, like a secret waiting to be uncovered. Pilot spots strange building in desert, then they land to investigate. "Everyone, take a look at this," the pilot called back to the crew. The three others on board shuffled to the windows, eyes widening as they took in the bizarre structure. "Is that a house?" One of them, a young co-pilot named Jamie, asked incredulously. "Out here?" "Whatever it is, I think we should check it out," the pilot said with a grin. "Strap in, folks. We're landing." The crew had all agreed this was far too intriguing to pass up. The landing was smooth despite the loose sand, the small plane settling a few hundred feet from the mysterious building. As the crew disembarked, the dry heat hit them like a furnace. They trudged forward, shielding their eyes from the blazing sun, the strange structure growing larger with every step. The building was a two-story affair, battered and bruised by the elements. Its walls were cracked, revealing jagged edges of concrete and steel. The windows, those that hadn't shattered, were coated in a thick layer of grime, making it impossible to see inside. A set of uneven tracks led from the structure, disappearing into the sand like the footprints of something that had fled long ago. "Okay, this is officially weird," muttered Rosa, the crew's engineer. She adjusted her baseball hat and surveyed the scene with a mix of suspicion and curiosity. "It looks abandoned, but what's it even doing out here?" "Could be some kind of old research station," Jamie suggested, snapping pictures with his phone. "Or a smuggler's hideout?" "Only one way to find out," the pilot said, her voice brimming with adventure. She stepped forward, pushing open the creaking metal door with a loud groan. The air inside was stale and heavy, thick with the scent of dust and decay. Shafts of sunlight streamed through the broken windows, illuminating what appeared to be a living room, or what was left of one. A tattered sofa sat against one wall, its stuffing spilling out like entrails. A rusted fan hung limply from the ceiling, its blades frozen mid-spin. On a small table in the corner, a faded photograph lay beneath a thin layer of sand. Jamie picked up the photo and wiped it clean with his sleeve. It showed a family of four, a man, a woman, and two children, all smiling brightly against a backdrop of desert dunes. "This place used to be someone's home," he said softly, his earlier excitement giving way to a sense of reverence. "But whose?" Rosa asked. She knelt by an old trunk, brushing off the sand that had settled on its lid. Inside were yellowed newspapers, letters, and she pulled out a handful of them, their edges brittle with age. The maps were hand-drawn, showing detailed layouts of the surrounding desert. In the margins, strange symbols were scrawled in red ink, along with notes written in a language none of them recognized. "This is unsettling," Rosa murmured, frowning at the symbols. "Or fascinating," the pilot countered. She was already making her way up the rickety staircase to the second floor. "Come on, there's more to explore." The second floor was even more dilapidated than the first. The wooden floorboards creaked ominously beneath their feet, and the walls were covered in peeling wallpaper that revealed strange, childlike drawings underneath. Stick figures, animals, and other things. Shapes that didn't quite make sense. "Are those tentacles?" Jamie asked, pointing to one particularly unsettling drawing. Rosa shivered. "Let's hope it's just a kid's overactive imagination." They continued their exploration, finding little more than broken furniture and the occasional bizarre artifact. A music box that played an eerie tune, a mirror that seemed to distort their reflections, a clock that ticked despite having no visible mechanism. "This is like something out of a horror movie," Jamie whispered, half joking. "Well, we haven't been eaten by sand monsters yet," the pilot said with a laugh. "I'd say we're doing all right." It was in the final room they checked that they found the most intriguing clue. A journal, its leather cover cracked with age, lay on a desk near a shattered window. Inside, the pages were filled with neat handwriting, chronicling the life of a man named Elias Whitaker. The entries became increasingly erratic as the journal progressed. Elias wrote about strange sounds in the night, sightings of shadowy figures on the horizon, and dreams filled with incomprehensible symbols that matched the ones on the maps downstairs. The final entry was the most chilling. "They're coming," it read. "I've done all I can to prepare, but I fear it won't be enough. If anyone finds this, please understand. It wasn't supposed to end like this." By the time they left the building, the sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert. The crew was quieter now, their earlier excitement replaced by a mix of wonder and unease. They loaded their findings onto the plane and took off, leaving the strange building behind. As they soared above the desert once more, Jamie glanced out the window, half expecting to see someone watching them from below. But there was nothing, just the endless expanse of sand, silent and still. "What do we tell people?" Rosa asked, breaking the silence. The pilot grinned. "The truth, of course, that we found a mystery in the middle of the desert." Jamie chuckled, "And that we barely scratched the surface." "Exactly," the pilot said, her eyes twinkling with adventure. "Who knows, maybe one day we'll go back and find out what really happened." And so the strange building became a legend, a story passed around in whispers and half-truths. Some dismissed it as a hoax, others swore it was real, but for the crew who saw it with their own eyes, it was something else entirely. A reminder that the world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, even in the most unexpected places.